All right, we're live.
America, welcome to Power to Thrive. I'm Dale Campbell. I'm here with the best-selling author Cliff Blodgett and his wife Zoe Blodgett. Now listen, America, hit that subscribe button. I don't know how many times I have to say this, and share this episode once it's finished. Give me 100 subscribers today, America. At least 100. There's no reason we should get 100. We have a very good topic today. We're going to start this off with Cliff.
All right, we're going to start off with you.
With me? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so earlier today I was with some of my friends and somehow we got on the topic of autonomous cars that drive themselves. And so, I was just thinking, just going to try this personal gut check here. If you ordered an Uber and a car pulled up to pick you up and you notice there's no driver, would you get in it? What would you do? Dale, would you get in it?
Listen, first thing I'm going to look and say, I'm going to look around like, where's my driver? Realize there's no driver. I'm going to be a little cautious, be honest with you. But the experience on getting in the car, sitting in the seat with no driver, nobody to communicate with as far as I know of, just get in there, put your seatbelt on and take a ride and say, okay, this is where I want to go, take me there. And let's see what happens. For me, my first run, I would say a couple of blocks just to see if the damn thing's going to work right. If it's going to signal, if whatever the case may be. It's a number of reasons on why people be a little hesitant on getting in one because there's no driver. You have no control absolutely at all. If you say, stop, let me out, will it stop and let you out? I have no idea.
We'll get to that. We'll see. We'll try to touch on that. What would you do, Cliff?
Right now, they're not going to be doing anything too radical, because people would get too scared. They want everybody to get used to it. So they're going to act pretty civilized in the beginning because they don't want to spook people. But in the long run, I have some scenarios that I could think of that are just not very good at all.
That's not the question I asked, Cliff, but anyway, I just said get in it or not?
Yeah, I said in the beginning, yeah.
Okay. Is it that you didn't trust it? You don't trust that it's going to do what you need to do, or?
No, I said in the beginning I would. They're not going to do something too ridiculous in the beginning. Over the long haul, though, once everybody gets used to these and they are mainstream, there's all sorts of stunts they could start pulling. You want to know what some of the things that go
let
wrong
me say
are?
something right quick.
Not right now. We're going to work ourselves into this.
Because there's a bunch of them.
Okay, because Dale,
Yes.
you said you have no control.
You have none.
So you couldn't be relaxed at all. Basically, you just
I'm gonna be a little tense.
you'd be kind of nervous.
Yeah, I'm gonna be nervous.
Yeah. Does it matter if it's a short trip as opposed to a longer trip? Would you feel more comfortable if it was like you just going a couple of blocks down the
That's
street?
exactly. I do a couple of blocks. Why? Because I feel safer knowing now anything could happen, whether it's short distance or a long distance. Don't get me wrong. But a short distance, and if I make it, then I might consider a long distance. But until I get to that point, I'm going to stay with the short distance because you just don't know. Okay, I'm going to give you an example. You get in the car, all of a sudden the weather get bad. And doggone, for some reason, that damn thing ain't getting the right signal. What's going to happen? You locked in this damn thing and can't get out, huh? You pounding on the door, now you're getting your
So you are not sure about if the technology is perfect.
You don't
or
know.
not.
You don't know.
Yeah. Okay. What do you think?
They've been already testing these things for years and years. The technology is going to work far better, 100 times better than a human driver could do. So you're not going to have any problem with the technology at first. That's what I was just saying. For the first 2, 3, 4, 5 years, whatever, these things are going to be flawless. It's later that you could have some problems.
Okay, we're going to hit on later, but I was looking at some statistics earlier, and 90% of all accidents is caused by human error.
Okay.
So if an autonomous car or a car of the future, whatever you want to say, could just virtually eliminate 40,000+ accidents in deaths, traffic deaths a year, would you feel a little bit more secure?
With that being said, yeah, why? Because there's nobody in the car drinking. They don't get drunk and get behind the wheel. And most of the wrecks and accidents that you have is somebody that's been drinking that's impaired. Pretty much. Probably 90% of the time. So that is.
Well, this
a big
takes me
difference.
to, y'all remember that movie I, Robot?
Yes, with Will Smith.
And that with Will Smith, he was really upset because it was an accident. Remember the cars went under the water and the robot decided to let the small child die, I think it was. And so he didn't trust the robots, the AI's decisions. And so I guess when you look at it that way, would you trust the autonomous car to make a right decision in some kind of terrible situation? It's like a reality check. Is it a nightmare?
But that's an edge case.
That's a what?
Edge case.
Explain that edge case.
Yeah.
Okay, edge case that's something that rarely ever happens. How many times in your life have you ever been in a car and you or whoever was driving had to make a decision hitting 3 people or running over a child or rescuing one person versus another? It's never happened to me in my life. That's something that happens very infrequently, but people like to talk about these edge cases like they really mean something. But there's things that happen every single day where this has a strong impact on that could happen all the time. Right now, they're going to have these things on their best behavior because they don't want to spook people and they want to get them into mainstream use.
Okay, so
After they're in mainstream use, there's a lot of stunts they can pull.
Okay, so who is they? Who should program it? Who should make the decision to decide what the AI decides to do? Who's responsible for is it for the code? Is it the owner of the company, the manufacturer, the government? Who should be the one responsible for the decisions programmed to the AI?
Who should be or who will?
Who will be? Who should be? What do you think? What do y'all think? Okay, so let's see what you think, Joe.
I'm waiting on Cliff to tell me.
Okay, then go on.
All right, like everything, whoever's paying for it, whoever's buying it, whoever has the money, if you're buying a fleet of 100 autonomous Ubers or something, you're buying 1,000 or 10,000, you're going to tell the car manufacturer the features you want, and with a huge order like that, there's a good chance that they're going to be able to do it for you. So you'll dictate how it's programmed. And so the person that buys them in large fleets, that's who's going to determine how they're programmed.
Okay.
Well, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this, Teresa.
Uh-huh.
Between Miss cars and regular people driving cars, what's the percentage on the safety between the two?
Personally, I think that the autonomous car is safer because I think that they're probably going to react much faster than a human being.
It's not going to make mistakes.
It's not going to get tired, sleepy. It's not going to make the mistakes that a human being can make. So I think for that, it's safer. But that leads me into
98,
the security of it. Like
95 to 98% safer.
Could it? Well, he's saying
95 to
98% safer. But let me ask you something, Dale. On that topic. Can it be hacked? Like people break into software and hack it. It's software. So can they hack it? Could they cause a gridlock? Could they make these things out of a weapon?
So some kind of state-run cyber people or large corporations like a state actor or a large corporate actor possibly could hack these smaller actors. That's the language they use.
Here's the deal. So if you sitting here in one of these autonomous cars and you just cruising away, all of a sudden it gets hacked. Now you sitting there hostage. Why? Because the car can't do a damn thing because the hackers done took control until you pay this guy whatever amount of money he wants. So what happens at that point? You just stuck.
That won't be the scenario. So let me tell you what the scenario will be. We're talking about, first of all, for the first 2, 3, 4, until these things, 5 years, until they're normalized, where they're everywhere and it's too far where you can never take it back, everything's going to be totally peachy with these things. They're going to be far safer. There's going to be no weird stuff happening, and everybody's going to think it's great. Then is when the problems are going to happen. And what they can do, okay, here's a scenario. You get in an autonomous taxi to take you somewhere. It does a retinal scan on you. You're wanted for something and you got a arrest warrant out. So instead of taking you where you want to go, it locks all its doors and takes you to the police station and has the police waiting for you when it stops.
Some people not going to get in them. I'm going to tell you that.
That's one thing.
Is this a joke?
No, dead serious. This is what they can do with these things. It's possible. I'm telling you what's technically possible. And in this country, it's probably what will happen.
Well, okay, how would you get a retinal scan? If I open the door and get into a car, how's it going to do that?
Because it's got cameras for navigation, so it's going to scan you before you ever get in to make sure that you're the right person.
Oh my God.
That you should be getting in. And then once you're in there, it's going to have an inward-facing camera that can scan you. It can scan you multiple times
and
before you even know what time it is. You won't even know it.
Wow. A question then also.
That's just one thing, though.
If you're talking about, what about the weather? Dale said the weather changes real fast, or either it gets into a construction zone and is not quite sure what to do.
It's because it's new.
Or a kid is threw a ball across the street. How is their programming going to say?
There's a ball running
Does
across
it
the
keep
street.
going when there's a ball? There's probably I would think, you would think, hey, if you see a ball, most likely there's a kid somewhere. Will it be able to reason that when it sees a ball in the street to slow down because there's probably a child running behind it? See, is it that smart?
It's going to be able to react more than 99.9% of any human could.
So it doesn't have to figure out in his head, oh, there's a child. It doesn't have to use that logic. It just was going to react when it sees the child real fast.
It can think 1,000 times faster than you could think.
So would it think like that?
Yes, it would.
Because some things like that aren't programmed, right?
No, it doesn't need to be programmed. It'll be able to go and break down. In fact, let me give you a scenario of how this thing works. It thinks 1,000 times faster than a human, then everything's in slow motion to it, super slow motion. So when it sees a child run out, it would see it run out before a human. It would know everything to the side, to the back, to the front, and it would be able to determine that the child is going this fast kinetically, and then the child, even if the child sees the car, the child's not capable of turning around fast enough. So it would know that. And a human driver wouldn't be able to determine this. And then what it could do is, if the child was here, and running this way, it could determine that it could go within 2 inches of the child as it's moving away, and it could control its response well to fit through the slot between, let's say, a building and a child, letting everybody live and not hitting the child, whereas a human driver would never be able to make that decision. But it's seeing everything in such slow motion, it's easy peasy for this.
Okay, well,
but let's talk let's talk about the breakdowns on this damn car. Everything's not going to be good. There's going to be some default somewhere. There's no way possible that it's not going to have some kind of default. What do you think about that?
Okay, you mean straight up?
So that's like an unintended consequence.
A straight up screw up. Okay, for 40,000 screw ups that are lethal, that humans do over 40,000 on U.S. roads, this thing may have 10 or 20. So yeah, it'll screw up, but instead of 40,000, it'll be 100 or 20 or 10 or who knows, very low. So yeah, there'll be some straight up screw ups where it screws up, but not many.
Oh, okay.
So I have some thinking of some things like, how does this affect our economy? How does it affect jobs?
In a huge way. Let's talk about that one.
That's a good
talk about that.
question.
Okay, I'm just saying the whole auto industry, and then your privacy, like you said, in your data.
Okay, let's go with the economy first, and then we could do privacy. Okay, so the way it affects the economy, the big corporations that own these fleets of trucks, they won't have to pay drivers anymore, and so they'll be making way, way more profit than they do now, because they don't have to worry about paying drivers and paying sick days and paying for medical and paying for all that stuff. So the corporations and the ultra rich will be making way, way more money. And so the question is, do you think they're going to split it with the people? I don't think so.
No.
They never do. So basically then what you're going to have is, I've heard, I don't know if this is true, there's the single largest profession in the United States collectively are all types of drivers. Truck drivers, cab drivers, Uber drivers. That's the number one profession in the United States right now. So what if in 5 years it's all going to be, or substantially all autonomous? So the largest profession in the United States no longer exists, and all these people are out of a job. How's that going to affect the economy? That's going to be devastating.
So basically you're saying,
it's like AI taking jobs is what it is. This is AI. So
well,
it's
that's an optimistic outlook.
No, there's nothing optimistic about it.
Okay, now let me ask you this. When it comes to new construction, to where it hadn't been programmed to put in the system where these autonomous cars can pick it up, what happened with that? When you're in a new construction, it's not even on a map nowhere on where these places are. How does that place?
It will be on the map. They send out mapping vehicle, and it could be human driven or autonomous, either one, but they'll map it.
Oh, okay.
It'll be no time at all before, yeah.
Okay, what do you think it does to the auto industry?
As far as the auto industry, they're going to try to discourage independently owned cars. So what they're going to do is, if you want to own your own car, taxes will go up and up and up, so that at the end, only rich people will be able to afford a car. And if you can't afford a car, you won't be able to afford the insurance on it. So they're going to force people to give up their independently owned cars. Or if you own a classic, you won't be able to drive it. You can own it and sit in your driveway, but you can't drive it anywhere. And so you can own it as a collector's item, but you can't drive
And
it.
why is that?
That's what'll happen. Because these human-driven cars will be a hazard on the road. Because they'll want only autonomous cars on the road. And the reason why is that if it's only autonomous cars, they can be programmed to, when there's heavy traffic, they can follow each other within inches and it never cause a wreck, and all move as one unit. And when a car needs to get in, they're programmed where it will lengthen the gap automatically to allow the other one. They'll cooperate with each other like humans never do. And so
So it's going to cut out the rage.
there won't be any road rage.
There
They don't
won't be
have
That's what I'm saying. Just going to cut
Yeah.
off the roads rage.
But Dale mentioned something. I think it was Dale earlier. Because these cars are smart. So you said the retinal scan and everything.
Right.
So they going to take up this data. They're probably going to have a lot of data. They're going to know about me. Like, where do I normally go?
They can
What
do
do I do when I'm in that car? You know, everything about me they've taken note of. So who owns that data? Do I get to, who owns that data?
this right here is already giving them that. They're not going to gain anything they don't already know based on your cell phone. They can track you. They can do everything. Listen to you. They know your habits. The phone's right in your face. There's not a thing they're going to learn that they don't already know.
Okay.
Due to your
So-
cell phone.
Due to your cell phone.
So they know a lot about us anyway. I know one thing I noticed, like when you do a search, it watches what you search and it always brings up stuff that's related to what you've searched for. But if you did the same thing on your phone, it's not going to bring the same stuff up because you look at different stuff.
Right, and it knows
so
you.
it starts to know me and it shows me things that I'm normally interested in. But I know we've been on here a while, but let's just see. I have a final, Dale, Cliff. I think they call these level 5 cars, Cliff, a true level 5 car.
True self-driving.
Okay, so when do you think it will actually happen? Will you be able to
Widespread?
buy one? I know Tesla. I heard they do that. They have their cars can be autonomous. But when do you think everywhere anybody can drive it and it's in any condition? When do you think this is going to become a reality?
They're already rolling this out in Phoenix and in different cities. In San Francisco, it'll just spread. It's just going to have way more. It'll spread to other big metropolitan areas. And then by 2027, it'll be everywhere.
I'm going to tell you experience. 2 years ago, some friends and myself went to Austin for a few days. And while we were in Austin, I called you and I told you, I said, Cliff, we just saw a autonomous car pulled up beside us. There was nobody driving this car. And it had on it, it was a test model. Tesla's in Austin. So I wonder if they were doing it. They got permission
Was it
to
a
do
Tesla?
it. I couldn't tell. But it freaked us out. And then the next day we saw a different one. So they were driving around Austin, but they didn't have anybody in them. But there was no driver.
Wow.
And it was like, wow. I know that they're moving. They're moving around.
It already.
How many?
Yes, I just told you, Phoenix, San Francisco,
Phoenix.
big time. Waymo.
Like they come get me as a passenger.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah.
As
sure.
far as I
that
know,
something?
they have them in Houston downtown. Because I've heard somebody. Yes,
I've heard that.
they've got
before
those
it comes
cars.
a complete-
They got them right here in Houston right now.
They have them. So before it becomes a complete reality for everybody to just be using, what do you think needs to happen? What is
No, it's just going to happen.
what needs to be solved?
It's already.
So it's already. What
The
you think,
pipeline.
Dale?
It can't be
Dale,
stopped.
what's gonna make you get in one now? Are you more optimistic or are you pessimistic?
I'm undecidable because
My advice is, first of all, you can't stop it. Second of all, enjoy it for the next 3, 4, 5 years until they start getting funny with it. After that, then you're going to start seeing stuff happen because they're going to wait till it's
When
too
you
late.
say stuff happen, what do you mean?
If it detects you got a warrant, it's going to take you to the police station, that kind of
Oh,
crap.
okay.
That'll start happening later. They're going to start using it for that. Or if you do something illegal in there, you'll
Well,
the
hold
police
on.
So
station.
if
but
anybody's
listen.
watching,
Cliff. So that's damn near entrapment if they do.
It's straight up
You
entrapment,
can't
but
do that.
they're going
You-
to say that car. They're going to say that car saw you do it, and it's an artificial intelligence, and therefore it's going to citizen arrest you and take you. If you're in the car and you commit domestic violence against somebody, it's going to say that it saw that domestic violence, and then it's going to
So I
relay
said,
that.
if you have a record,
No,
it's not
but-
going to make up a record.
No, but if you go in there and start beating somebody up, and it's got you on camera doing it,
Well, who would do that? That'd be stupid. You're on a smart car, so why would you get in there and do something stupid?
you don't think people are stupid?
I was saying, if you have a record, you don't need to get into one of
But
these
listen.
cars. I think people going to.
No.
If you on America's Most Wanted and you get into an autonomous car, then that thing does a record. But I'm just saying, you just said people are stupid. If you on America's Most Wanted, you think, let me jump in this autonomous car and take me somewhere. Is that car gonna recognize that this guy is on America's Most Wanted and take his ass to jail or not?
Yeah. Is he going to just lock them in there, or he going to drive it to jail?
In the future, whatever they can get away with. But
Wow.
but think of it. This guy, he's on one list, right? America's Most Wanted. Now he gets to be on two. He's American Most Wanted and America's Most Stupid. He gets to be on two.
It's something to think about because it is happening, and it reminds me when we used to watch the Jetsons way back when and all that kind of stuff. Like some of this stuff is becoming a reality,
Yes, it is.
and you're ready for it or not. You're gonna get in it or you're not. But I think eventually the majority of people, just like going from a horse and buggy to a car. Some people are probably very leery about getting into the first car. But look at us now. And so
what else?
we got to move with the technology.
What else they could do is they can have police cars stationed all around the city just sitting there doing nothing. Or they could be cruising around scanning to see if they see crimes. And then the police got somebody that they're chasing. The autonomous cars with their AI would be able to see the location of the people being chased and then go to roads ahead of time and just park across those roads where they just automatically create roadblocks.
So you're not going to be able to get away.
That's interesting.
This stuff is interesting and it is scary, but I don't know. I see good things about it, and then I see bad things where they can take advantage of people.
Yeah,
Also,
but I'm saying
so,
entrapment,
but on the good side, you can get in there. You can get your time back. You buy your time back. You can have it take you somewhere, and you could do all your work. You can do whatever you want to do, so you don't run out as much time. Now if we're driving ourselves, we don't have time to do other things, but you have time to do. You don't have to spend your time driving.
They can geofence.
Hey,
you
we
also.
running out of time.
I don't know what geofence.
Okay.
What is geofence?
Geofence is where if you did something they don't like, they can say that you're restricted to your neighborhood or you're restricted to your city or
So
something
you
like
can't
that.
get picked up.
So with the car, it'll pick you up, it'll take you to the grocery store, but if you want to go across town, it'll say, no, you're geofence, you can't
Oh,
go
see,
across
that's
town.
too much control.
Yeah, well,
I don't like that's just too much control. But yeah, people, audience, I hope y'all think about this because some of these things are happening, and so I just wanted to get you thinking about what would you do. So
Any thoughts, Cliff? Closing
if you have
thoughts?
any questions, let us know.
yeah, I think that before this gets too widespread, it's just good for everybody to think about the implications as far as people. Because right now, so you can get in your car and you can drive it anywhere you want. And they have some idea with the traffic cameras and stuff. They might be able to track you, but maybe not, depending on where you're driving. But when you get in the autonomous car, it scans you, it knows who you are, and then they got complete control over what the car is going to do, where you can go, how long you could be there, everything. They can control you.
In my closing thought, Dylan, let me have one more thing, and we could maybe pick this up and talk about it next time. You made me think about the real license that everybody has to have now. Is there a chip in there that they can keep up with you? Can they keep up with you just because you have a license now? Because everybody, it's mandatory that you get one of those driver's licenses.
That's a good question. I think that those real IDs have RFID, which is where they can ping it and it'll give them the information back. I'm not positive about that. That's not so.
Need to
That is a
research it.
real good one. We need to do an episode about
Yeah.
what exactly are the capabilities of a real ID.
Yeah, because it's mandatory now.
Because if it does have RFID, which is the little chip, that means when you get in a autonomous car, it may be able to ping your real ID, and they can ping your retinal scan too, and then they can see if the two match, and then tell you that you're committing fraud if you're using a different.
It's going too far. But anyway, Dale, close us out,
Hey,
Dale.
America.
We'll talk more about this
We're
one.
coming to a close. We had a great episode. Actually, you got actual factual for this episode.
Yeah.
Share this. Hit the button, America. We need them like a hog needs slop, like I told you. Y'all have a great night, and we see you in the next episode.
Bye-bye.